Okay.
Get to business.
Ready? All right. So welcome to our January 19th Design Review Commission meeting. If you are joining us via Zoom, please use the meeting ID 867-6418-6807 with the login password 933545. You can also call in. All right, let's start with a welcome and roll call, please.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Krilling.
Here.
Vice Chair Valia.
Here.
Chair Case.
Here.
We have Commissioners Gorney and Commissioner Killian will not be in tonight. They are absent. So we have a quorum of 3.
Okay. All right, we will move to item 2, consent calendar. Some item may be placed on the consent calendar by the Commission's secretary that is expected to be routinely approved.
4A.
So I would like to move item 4A to consent calendar, which is the 1-year extension for the Foundry project. Does that work for everyone? All right.
I support that.
It does for me.
Okay, Chip, we want to move that. Anything formal I need to do to move that and approve that 1-year extension?
I think we need a motion and
Okay.
a second to move that.
I'll make a motion to move the 1-year extension on the Foundry project to consent calendar.
Okay.
And I second it.
Okay.
Do we comment on moving
No.
to, I think we could,
I don't,
I don't think we do.
not if it makes consent.
Okay.
Commissioner
Well,
Krilling.
It moves without discussion or debate. so
Yes.
not-
We have a motion and a second. Commissioner Krilling.
Yes.
Vice Chair Valia.
Yes.
Vice Chair Case.
Yes.
Now, we might have made one too many steps here, but now we need to actually formally
Yes.
make a motion on the consent calendar itself.
Right.
Is there any questions on the consent calendar?
Nope. A motion to approve consent calendar.
I'll second.
We'll do that now. Okay, Commissioner Krilling.
Yes.
Vice Chair Valia.
Yes.
Chair Case.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 3-0.
All right, so at this point, we'll move to item 3, public communications. So this is for any items not on the agenda. And if you are participating in the Zoom, feel free to use the raise hand feature. You'll each have 2 minutes for comments.
There ain't no, there it is, it's working. All right. My name's Pete Bennett. I seem like the perpetual victim of Walnut Creek. Beatings, broken bones, hit and runs, arson, been through it all. I almost died in the hospital 10 years ago, poison. So I used to remodel buildings here. I know the downtown very well from the 80s and the 70s. Very well. I know things that none of you know about. We lost a building down the street. Cost us about $3 million, family. A few weeks ago, I'm going to express it because I really wanted to speak, so I changed my tone here. My timbre is different. About a month and a half ago, I was sitting over at Phil's Coffee in my homeless vehicle. Somebody fired off 4 rounds from a .357 or bigger behind me. I saw the muzzle flash, one of them. Then I'm over playing piano. Somebody else is firing off guns at me. Okay, I had a computer store here in town 25 years ago, and a guy shows up with a gun. I got in a gunfight with a bunch of guys in my cabinet shop in 1989. How long has this gone on? Long time. Then that person fired off the rounds directly across the street from the building you just passed on me on. I'm also the witness to the guy that got shot at the bank next to that project. And the city attorney of Concord was working on one of my cases when he jumped to his death. How much more do I have to go through? Why am I here? The camera actually is very useful. People call me on the phone and say they've actually seen me talking. I'm not going to end up dead at the benefit of others in this town, period. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have any public communications on our Zoom?
Seeing, make sure I'm in the right. 1 second, please. Seeing none.
Great. All right, we will move on to item number 4, public hearings. So we will jump to B. Our project is secluded wood single-family homes and landscapings for lots 1 and 4. Do we have a presentation from staff? Hey, Simmer.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Simmer Gill, Associate Planner with the City of Walnut Creek, and we are here tonight to discuss the landscape and design plans for the last 2 remaining lots of the 7 lots secluded woods subdivision at 1835 Weaver Lane. The lots are lots 1 and 4, and the applicants representing the project tonight, Peter Giles and Michael Evans, are here tonight. And Stacy DeShazo, the architectural historian who prepared the recent historical evaluation report for the project, is also available via Zoom. And of course, I'm available as well if you have any questions after the presentation. I'm sorry, I need to share the screen.
Can you?
I thought it was already up. Sorry about that. So yes, the project number is Y21074, and I believe I already gave an introduction, so I'll move on to the presentation. Let's start with the project site. The property is located on the northern edge of Walnut Creek at the 3-way intersection of Weaver Lane and Smith Lane. Across Weaver Lane to the east are residential properties that are located in the City of Concord's jurisdiction and the Oak Grove Middle School. And the surrounding area consists of primarily single-family homes that are all zoned R10. And just a little background, in 2016, the City Council approved the rezone of the site to planned development and approved a 7-lot subdivision. The same year, Planning Commission adopted a resolution that is included as attachment 4 of your agenda packet that approved the tentative map for the 7-lot sub and included a condition of approval that stated that any renovation or modification to lots 1 and 4 shall be subject to a separate design review and must be consistent with state federal law regarding structures that are eligible for listing on the California Registrar of Historical Resources. And then on August 18, 2021, the DRC approved design review application Y21-038, the architecture and landscaping plans for lots 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, and also approved the removal of 15 trees, which are highlighted on this exhibit. And now moving on to the proposed project, here is the site layout and proposed footprints of the 2 homes on lots 1 and 4. The front entry and garages of the home on lot 1 will face the interior private street, and the home on lot 4 will face lot 3, which is separated by a shared driveway access easement. The homes are located more than 20 feet away from the front property lines along the private street and have large side and rear yard setbacks on both lots. The applicant tonight is seeking Design Review Commission input and approval of the proposed architecture and landscaping for lots 1 and 4. The DRC is also tasked tonight at establishing the lot coverages for lots 1 and 4, as the approved planned development required that the allowable lot coverages for lots 1 and 4 be determined through a design review, as the intent was to preserve the structures on both of these lots when the original planned development was approved. The proposed lot coverage for lot 4 is 30%, and staff recommends that the maximum lot coverage for this lot be 35%, as the lot is approximately 8,000 square feet and is comparable with the similar size lots that were recently approved as part of the subdivision, which were lots 5 and 6. And the 35% lot coverage would also be consistent with the lot coverage of the properties in the surrounding neighborhood. And the proposed lot coverage for lot 1 is 15%. Staff recommends that the maximum lot coverage for lot 1 be 25%, as the lot size is comparable and consistent to the R15 zoning standards. The 18,000 square foot lot size is the largest lot in the subdivision, as the original intent was to preserve the home on this lot at the time. Staff requests that DRC's feedback on the allowable lot coverages that staff supports. And in May 2021, a fire occurred that partially destroyed the Smith house on Lot 1. And a structural assessment report prepared by Advanced Engineering assessed the buildings on site and indicated that both of the structures on Lots 1 and 4 are considered a safety concern. And a follow-up structural report was also prepared after the fire to further examine and demonstrate the safety concern of the Smith house on Lot 1. The report also concluded that a retrofit may not be feasible due to the structural defects of both buildings on both lots and recommended demolishing the buildings to prevent any future harm. And the reports are included as attachment 9 of your agenda packet. And now the developer is proposing to demolish the buildings on both lots 1 and 4 to construct new homes on each lot. And as mentioned earlier, the original intent was to preserve the homes on lots 1 and 4 based on the historical report that was prepared in 2013. The Smith house on lot 1 and the Major's cottage on lot 4 were deemed to have significant historical significance. And as a result, any development of lots 1 and 4 would require consistency with state law for historical resources and be processed under a separate design review application. And the applicant submitted a recent historical report prepared by Evans de Chazo, evaluating the current conditions on the site pre and post the fire. And as the Office of Historic Preservation recommends that if there's any changes to a property, an updated evaluation be completed to ensure that preservation decisions are based on the most current information available. And the recent report was a follow-up to the original 2013 historic report to determine if the two buildings on lots 1 and 4 would retain integrity to be considered historical resources under CEQA. And Evans de Chazo completed a thorough review of the 2013 report, including a detailed analysis and explanation as to why the findings made in the current report are valid when compared to the 2013 report. And the recent report also considered the damage caused by the fire, which appears to have comprised the integrity of the original house. And the recent report determined that the 2013 report also lacked the context needed under CEQA guidelines and the California Office of Historic Preservation to support the 2013 findings that the two structures are eligible under any criteria. And the recent historian also determined errors in the periods of significance, and the original historian did not complete a thorough integrity section as indicated by the current historian. And after a complete integrity evaluation, the current historian has concluded that none of the structures within the project area meet the eligibility requirements for listing on the California Registrar of Historical Resources. Therefore, the built environment resources on both of these lots are not considered historical under CEQA. Since the 2013 report and the recent report prepared by Evans de Chazo had different information, the city required a third-party review on the dual assessments to determine which report is valid of the two. Rincon Consultants was hired by the city, and they reviewed the original report from 2013 and the recent report prepared in November 2021 by Stacy de Chazo, and agreed with the current report, concluding that the historic built structures at the project site are not eligible for listing and are not considered historical resources pursuant to CEQA. And a copy of that historical report and the third-party memo is included as attachment 8 of your agenda packet. And now moving on to the design. The proposed two-story homes on lots 1 and 4 use the cottage and craftsman design architecture. Both homes will feature covered entryways and exterior wall light sconces. And the front-facing private street elevations are well designed with high-quality materials and articulation throughout. The proposed materials and features such as window detailing and trims are carried around to each elevation of the home. And the design of the two homes is consistent with the city's objective design standards. And the two-story home on Lot 1 uses the cottage design architecture and is approximately 27 feet in height and will have gable and hip roof elements with a 512 pitch with concrete tile roofing. And the front elevations consist of grayish beige colored stucco and white vertical wood siding, stone veneer, and decorative window shutters. And staff suggests that the applicant extends the covered entry to give the home on this lot a more similar feel of the original structure that was on this lot. Possibly extending that covered entry would accentuate the design of the building. Staff requests the DRC to comment on the proposed architecture on this lot. And the two-story home on Lot 4 uses the Craftsman design architecture and is approximately 28 feet in height. The home consists of a combination of light gray colored board and batten lap siding, green colored stucco, and gray beige colored shingle siding, and a covered entryway, detailed window trims, and the garage door. Stone veneer is used significantly on this front elevation, and it extends to the fence line along the side elevations. Board and batten shingle siding is applied on the second floor on the side elevations, and architectural features such as window trims, mullions, detailings are carried around to each elevation of the home. And the project complies with the applicable objective design standards as the home elevations provide visual balance and proportion in building mass and a variation in material usage. Overall, staff supports the proposed designs as it would develop a underutilized lots, and staff would like DRC to comment or provide input on the architecture on this lot as well. And here is the proposed landscaping for lots 1 and 4, which includes front and rear yard trees. The proposed plant palette incorporates 5-gallon shrubs that will be planted along the front and sides of the home and consists of sage, rosemary, and bottle brush, among others. And the landscape plan for Lot 1 incorporates 6 new 24-inch box valley oak trees that will be planted along the private street side yard. And in addition, one 36-inch valley oak and one 15-gallon redbud tree would be planted along the front of the property on Lot 1. And then Lot 4 will plant a 24-inch box valley oak in the front yard and two 36-inch valley oak trees in the rear yard that would provide screening to the existing neighboring properties. And staff supports the proposed landscaping as the existing trees, because there are existing trees on site that are being preserved, along with the new proposed trees that will enhance the overall appearance of the homes and the overall site. And the landscaping is similar to the approved landscaping plans for the other 5 lots in the subdivision. And just to summarize, staff supports the proposed home and landscape designs for both lots 1 and 4, as they will be compatible with the recently approved 5 lots within the subdivision and within the surrounding residential neighborhood. Staff would like DRC to provide input on the proposed home and landscape designs and also establish the allowable lot coverages for both lots 1 and 4. And with that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission approve the proposed landscape and home designs for lots 1 and 4, and also establish the lot coverages for both the lots 1 and 4 tonight. And that is all I have for my presentation, but I will be here for any questions.
Great, thank you. Do you guys have any questions of staff, commissioners? I do. Great.
Thank you, Chair Case. Okay, do you have readily available, and if not, it's okay. We've already looked at 5 of the 7 lots, and I cannot recall what conditions we had in that resolution, because it seems like they might be appropriate to be carried forward for these 2, if there were any. And then I can't recall if there were architectural recommendations or landscape recommendations that came out of the prior meeting for the other lots, and do we know if, especially in the architectural, those got carried through to lots 1 and 4?
So I don't have it readily available, but we can pull it if needed. But I do recall from memory that there were no additional conditions that were added or incorporated for any additional landscaping detailing or for the design detailing or landscaping. It was approved as proposed. There were other conditions that were related to tree removals. The intent was to preserve 2 of the trees, and the developer did save both of those trees that were indicated in the last DRC hearing.
Okay, great, thank you.
Do you have any questions? Okay. Can you, sorry, you said it very clearly, but in regards to the allowable lot coverage, can you say what they're supposed to be versus what they currently are in comparison to the other ones as well? You summarized it well, I just need to hear it one more time.
Yeah, so proposed lot coverage for Lot 1 is 15%. So we're setting the maximum or allowable. Because it's a 18,000 square foot lot, it's comparable to a R15 zone, and R15 limits the lot coverage to 25%.
Okay.
So we were proposing a 25% for Lot 1 maximum. And then Lot 4 is an 8,000 square foot lot. And they're proposing, I believe, close to 30% they're proposing, and then we're trying to establish it at 35% allowable or maximum. And that is similar to what lots, the 2 surrounding adjacent lots 3 and 5 have. They're
Okay.
both at 35%, and they're similar sized.
Okay, yeah, because that's my biggest concern. I don't want it to seem really.
And of course, and the surrounding neighborhood also has the 35% R10 lot coverage.
Got it. Okay, so it seems as though our suggestion of 35% max and 25% max would align appropriately with the surrounding area and the size of the lot itself.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I was hearing that correctly. Okay, I don't have any other questions of staff. We're good? Okay, great. Is there a presentation from the applicant?
Okay, thank you. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here for the second time for this subdivision, Secluded Woods. Simmer, thank you. Homes, along with my colleague Michael Evans, who was introduced earlier. We have our design team via Zoom, as Simmer mentioned to you. But just to run you through who those folks are, we have Michael Bieski, our project arborist. We have our architectural historian, Stacy DeShazo, our civil engineer at PA Design Firm, our landscape architect, Rick Stover, Chris York with OAG Architects, and again, Michael Evans here with me from DeNova Homes. Simmer did a great job highlighting the existing approvals on this subdivision. Just reminding that we do have this 7-lot subdivision, Resolution 3112, approved home design and landscape of lots 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Site improvements, if you're curious, right now are in process. We are installing our wet utilities for those lots and the site plan. And the vertical construction plans under that previous resolution approval are in the second round plan check with the building department. And we do expect comments or approval here relatively soon. This is just a refresher for you all. This is the exterior elevations of the 5 lots that were previously approved. and the, what we're presenting to you is consistent with what was approved, as we're using the existing architecture and introducing new elevations. Simmer highlighted for you that we did have a number of historical resource evaluations prepared, and the only thing here to highlight again is that the third-party consultant, Rincon Consultants, did concur with our architectural historian in that the property at 1835 Weaver Lane is not eligible for historic resource eligibility pursuant to the CEQA guidelines. So just wanted to highlight again that we've gone through that a few times with these structures. The development plan, which you saw here, there we go. Just to show you the footprint again. Oh, sorry, I just keep kind of clicking through this thing. There we go. The plan 2 on lot 4 and the plan 3 on lot 1, you can see how that lines up, and the question about lot coverage just gives you a little bit better idea of what was previously approved and how the footprint fits within those lot boundaries. The architecture, which you also saw here, and I'll open it up to questions soon, but we do have a 3,200 square foot Plan 2 and just over 3,800 square foot Plan 3, again, which you have seen floor plans for these, or excuse me, exteriors for these. So I'll show you the floor plans for those briefly. Both are 2-story, 4-bedroom with a 5th bedroom option. This is the 3,200 square foot, and here's the 3,800 square foot Plan 3. Landscape and fencing, as Simmer mentioned here, we utilize the same plant palette from the previous approval, as well as fencing layout, 6-foot good neighbor fence for lot splits, and then along the rear property line, we have a 7.5-foot fence inclusive of a 18-inch lattice topper, and then a split rail fence along the frontage there at lot 1 with a stone veneer pilaster. So again, just wanted to keep it brief and answer any questions you guys might have for myself or anyone on the design team. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, commissioners, any questions of our applicant? Yes, Commissioner Riley.
Do you have something you can pop up there that shows the other elevations that we already approved?
I do.
Because I think you said these are new elevations, these two, right?
That's correct. Let me go back to the previous approval. There it is. Those are the previously approved exterior elevations.
All right. If you could leave, well, maybe other people have questions, if you could leave that up
Sure.
while
Yep.
I compared to the others, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Or Commissioner Villia, do you have questions of our applicant?
Well, it's sort of a question. It's like an in-between question and comment. I mean, we've seen many projects here that have actually developed sites with several units, and I think, let me start with a good thing. I mean, this fits. It's incredible this fits. I mean, I've seen things presented to us where the houses don't fit, where everything is against, or they don't follow the setbacks, and they encroach into the setbacks, or they're very close to the street, or the streets are narrower. I mean, many things. This fits, and that's a great point. Now, was there any consideration of creating a common space here for all these units? Because on smaller projects that we've seen here, there being common spaces, like a get-together area for this small community, a barbecue area, a small park, whatever. I don't see it. It's been approved like that. It's just a question. It's a question that I. Now, the other thing, and that doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to hear an answer from you on that question, is that Plan 3A is so much better than Plan 2C. Plan 2C is flat, flat, flat entrance. Plan 3A is very dynamic. It moves, it goes around, it creates heights, it creates volumes, it creates shadows, textures. It's so much better. But that's more of a comment. But again, you never gave any consideration of having a common area here. I mean, you have such beautiful big lots here that could have.
Yeah, we did not contemplate a common area for this one being 7 lots. So that wasn't something that we had intended for this site. And I don't believe that was part of the conditions on the 5-lot approval.
And I understand that it wasn't part of the conditions. I'm just wondering, because we've seen projects here where they hardly fit and they have common areas. And you fit with, I mean, you fit in this, you have a lot of open spaces, but you don't have a common area. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Sure, and I think to that effect is you think of the families that want to be in the area and having space for their family, their kids. You know, personally, I would love having the size yard that some folks are going to have with this. So, to us, that's important that we provide that.
Thank you. Those are my comments.
Commissioner Carling, are you?
Yeah, I just want to go back. Okay, so thank you for putting that up.
Sure.
Now if you can go to your Plan C2 Craftsman.
Yes.
By the way, I echo Commissioner Valia's comments. I like 3A better. They're all beautiful houses, but I get what he's saying there.
You wanted to look at the
Plan 2C Craftsman.
Yep. Lot 4.
So the,
Oh, I'm sorry, Plan 2C Craftsman. Now I'm too loud. I'm never accused of that. So on the second story, and I don't know if it's just the way the rendering is, that small little window, the second window to the right above the front door, it seems like it's a little too far to the left. It's not quite centered above the front door, and just as compared to all the other elevations, that stuck out to me from the moment I saw this plan. And I don't know if that little window can move a little bit to the right, so it kind of.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Going through the architecture set in the floor plans, we'll address that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I have no questions of the applicant. We're done with
I'm
questions?
done,
Okay.
thank you.
So at this point, we will open it up for public comment. And again, if you're joining us from Zoom, you can use the raise hand feature. I don't actually know what to do if you're joining us from a call. Okay, so seeing 0, we will bring it back in for our commission's comments and potentially our motion as suggested by staff once we weigh in on the lot coverage and the design of the units. So I can go first. I feel like the lot coverage they're proposed, which is why I clarified this in some of my questions, I think the 25% max and the 35% max seem reasonable for the context. And I realize it's a really big lot, the lot 1. So I think having that one be a slightly smaller percentage is reasonable. So I supported that. I feel like I was able to pull up the old set at home. I think these 2 new architectural designs fit in well with the character of this small little community. I think it's nice. And I noticed there wasn't a common space. I kind of thought of that too, but I was thinking as well, they've got big yards. They'll just have little potlucks or something. So hopefully it's that utopian, you know? So I am in favor of this project. Okay, who's next? Commissioner Blade.
I'm in favor. I mean, I just want to finish with what you ended. I'm in favor of the project. I think again, repeat myself again, it's one of the few that I've seen lately that fits. And it's got enough space for side yards, backyards, front yards, roads, distances between the houses. I think this should be sort of a model we should follow, because we've been seeing things lately that, gosh, if they get built, it's the beginning of the end of the way we do urbanism here.
Great, thank you. So I want to thank you as a developer for not coming to us with, you're probably hearing the theme here, trying to fit 16 three-story structures on the acreage, taking advantage of every new state law, housing density bonus law, et cetera. Prior developments, this room was full of people speaking, and I would have to imagine because I went to the site, and I have to imagine the neighbors should be pretty happy with what you're putting in there. I happen to live on a 7-home infill development as well in Walnut Creek, and this reminds me of it quite a bit. I might be the contrarian on the public space, because here's my prediction based on 21 years in a similar development. All the new neighbors are going to be really excited when they first get, and they're going to do the potlucks and the barbecues, and then it slowly fades away, and everyone's in their own backyards for the most part. I'm jealous of the Lot 1 backyard, by the way. That's amazing. And the other thing is, and I'm just making a comment, it was very interesting to read the consultants on whether it's a historical building or not. And it's always fun to read one consultant saying what the other consultant missed. But it was a really great history of the area, so I appreciated having that. I think Simmer may have mentioned, it'd be nice on like Lot 1 to add any elements you could from the old building, even though it would be a brand new structure. But I like the houses just as they are, and I agree. You have my support for the development, and I think the lot, the maximum coverage makes sense as well.
I did have a quick question that I'm going to ask of you, Carlos, although you can weigh in. Simmer mentioned a suggestion that I think it was on the 2C plan that there be more of a recess for the front door. Am I capturing that right, Simmer?
The extended covered,
Extended cover, so it's
yeah.
pulling it out, not pushing it in.
You know what? I like that.
it appeared to be a bit smaller for that big of a
I
lot.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that, yes, yes. That would add to the house.
Okay.
I concur.
Okay, so I remembered that, and then the lot coverage were the two things that I noted for us to weigh in on. Was there anything else, staff, that we needed? Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve with the 25% max on the Lot 1 and the 35% max lot coverage on Lot 4, and the suggestion to extend the coverage on, back these up for me, I think it was 2C? Covered patio.
Covered patio on lot 1.
The suggestion from staff, yes. Yes, that.
Suggestion for,
Did I capture all that?
I think so.
Okay. Okay.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do roll call?
Yes, please.
Chair Case,
Yes.
Vice Chair Leo,
Yes.
Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
3-0, that's a win.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move on to item 5, commission consideration. So this part of the agenda is for things that are not required to be publicly noticed. Do we have anything on there this evening, Chip?
We do, just a mention, I think you've already received some email.
Oh, Mike.
We do. I believe you've already received an email from from Susie Martinez regarding new commissioner applications. I think that was extended to all the commissioners, and that period is open now. So if you have anybody in mind. Also, that'll, because we do lose Commissioner Gorney, he is termed out, so we're going to have one replacement. I believe you've all been re-upped, correct? And thank you for that. Thank you for your service. So the first meeting in March is when we'll welcome the new commissioner, and that's also when we will do nominations and for a new chair and a new vice chair.
Great.
Okay, so that'll occur, I believe it's the first meeting in March. Could be the second meeting, but I think it's the first meeting.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I remember when I interviewed that there was like the official panel, but there were a couple other people, one of them being Marilyn, who I remember, who could sit in. Is there an opportunity for us to see the interview of our potential new addition?
I think so. I think it's an open kind of, everybody shows up and
Yeah.
you're sitting there next to your combatant.
Yeah, they,
You got to call in, but I had to be there in
Yeah.
person.
I was so lucky.
And you
Yeah.
had to like answer in order. It was really
the
intimidating.
interviews are public. My understanding, because I've asked a few people, was when I interviewed 2 years ago, that was the first time they had all of us combatants at the table. I don't know if they're going to do that again. I can tell you as an applicant, that was sort of an unnerving experience that you would never see like in the corporate world. You'd have the panel interview with the city council there, but you would never be sitting with,
Yeah.
all of your competition. That was, I hope they don't do that again.
I haven't heard any different. I mean, they may make a COVID change in the field, but
Yeah, it's,
as yet, I haven't heard any.
was yours that way?
It was.
It
yeah.
was, okay.
Yeah, so they'd ask us all a question, then we'd each answer. So I'd be like, well, what'd they say? Well, I'm
Right, exactly.
different, And I'm like, no, I have to go first.
Yeah, right.
It was interesting. But I just think it'd be fun for us to see our candidate,
A little unfair to hear all the answers first, so you can.
There's also, the other thing that's interesting to watch is I think it's early February, is to watch the city council go through the process of deciding who they're actually going to interview and not. And I had attended that one after I had applied, because I just wanted to see the whole process.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to attend all this because I'm just fascinated by it all.
Cool.
Great.
Great.
Will you alert me of those meetings when you find them? Because I'd probably want to see them too.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think they'll be in February.
Okay.
Yeah, it's February.
You trust our judgment.
They'll have to be. If we're going to meet in March, right?
Okay. Anything else for our commission considerations?
That's all I have.
Okay, so item 6, commission member staff reports or announcements. Anything?
Can we have general questions in this, or?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair. On the public comment, like, say, in sign subcommittee, should public comment be limited to the sign subcommittee topics, or can that be kind of, I know in regular commission meetings and city council meetings, the public can come and talk about anything that's not on the agenda. I know, like with the not the closed session, but the specific, sometimes city council has specific meetings, at 4 o'clock, 4:30, and public comment has to be around what's on the agenda. Can we find out if that applies to
No,
sign subcommittee?
I can answer that question.
Oh.
It does apply. And if you notice, you can try to prompt, I mean, they
Yeah,
get
you
their 2
did.
minutes, but you don't want them to waste them.
Yeah,
So you can try to steer them into what the order of the day is to the best of your ability, but there's no law that says they have to stay on point. It'd be nice if they did.
yep. I saw you doing that, and thank you for that.
Okay. After that, adjournment. So thank you all.
So
Stop
48.
that.
I could have done that.